Hello everybody, this is DKG Avos over here, and I'm just responding to Husky's request for a bunch of games for ladder anxiety, and I will admit that I too suffer from a little bit of ladder anxiety, and I just want to say that down in the lower right hand corner, this is me, DKG Avos, and my opponent, and that looks like China Titan, which is actually a pretty interesting name. He ended up being Platinum in Wings of Liberty, and a pretty decent player. And you can see in the chat here, I do not like ZVZ that much, as some of you may already know if you've seen any of my other videos. ZVZ is, in my opinion, at the lower levels, just one of the least interesting matchups because it's always the same thing. And I have to admit that once Heart of the Swarm came out, it's been a little bit of a ladder anxiety for me. I do play a lot of team games. I'm diamond rank in team games, if anybody really cares about that. But when it comes to 1v1s, I don't play as much. And so I'm probably around platinum ability, but I'm currently in gold league, which gives me a little bit more ladder anxiety because I did bomb a couple of my placement matches, and I felt terrible. So I put down Heart of the Swarm for a little bit, started focusing on a couple other things in Heart of the Swarm, focusing a little bit more on my team responsibilities, and didn't play as much. I'm easily the lowest ranked on my team because I'm in Gold League. Everybody else is in Diamond and Masters. And so this is just my normal ZVZ build. It's going to be 13 gas, 13 pool. Once I get the gas finished, that's about the same time that my pool goes down. And what it allows is it'll be at about, I don't know, it's 100 to 120 gas depending on how accurate my timings are. But it'll be enough that I can get Ling Speed immediately and have a Baneling Nest almost immediately after that. And my opponent here is hoping that I am actually at Gold League ability and hoping that I'm at low Gold League ability and going for this early expansion. But following the meta, I usually put a lot of early pressure on this early expansion. I don't want my opponent to have that economic edge against me, and so I will be that guy, and I'm going to rush everything I can at this base. And just looking at this is just the slowest part. You can see in the production I've got my Ling Speed, and I've almost got enough gas to put that Baneling Nest down. That should be going down pretty shortly, and you can see that his spawning pool is delayed just by that, and there's the Baneling Nest. So his spawning pool isn't even done. He's floating a decent amount of minerals just because he doesn't have his queens out. I've now scouted this early expansion, and I've got the Lings right on the way. He does have Overlords spreading around, and so he has seen that this pressure is coming, and he's probably going to build, yep, there they are, the Lings that are building immediately and coming straight down. And he's going into gas, and this is what I'm talking about. He's got his Ling Speed now, and mine is quite a bit earlier than his. By the time I'm getting to his base, I've almost got Ling Speed down, and any sort of counter pressure that he's going to try and put to take my Lings out, I'm going to be able to deal with pretty well. I've got my Baneling Nest, I've got enough gas. I usually keep about 2 drones in gas just to make sure. And so here we go. This is just going to be the dance of death for all these Zerglings. They will pretty much all fall. And there's my Ling Speed coming in, and I'm going to try and kite him around just to get him in a good position for these Banelings to detonate. I got one good hit. There's another good hit. Let's just follow them. Go all the way up the ramp. Get out all the Zerglings. And then we're just going to go into the mineral line. Take out that queen so that we affect his macro just a little bit. Wanted to get a better surround just a little bit on those drones. And now we're just going to... Let's see. Oh, forgot the nameplate even. Oh, man. But we can see that the workers killed is rising significantly. That's a decent amount of workers killed given his amount. He didn't really have that many drones to get rid of. And so now he's down to half the amount of drones that I have, which admittedly not a whole lot. And the units lost tab is heavily favoring me. And I'm going to drop these Banelings over here just to try and get him off of me. But that does not work out in my favor, unfortunately. Alright, let's get back to this production tab. You can see that he's trying to drone up to catch up. And I do have my expansion going now because I want that extra larva. He's got some extra larva. I know he doesn't have the queen. I've got my queen. I've missed a few injects because I was focusing a little bit too much on that baneling micro. But now I've dropped these banelings just as a little bit of defense. But he's going to start microing against these banelings, and I cannot kite his zerglings into them quite well enough. And I'm overextending just a little bit here. I was trying to chase after speedlings, which in the heat of the moment, just a dumb idea. But it looks like he's going to chase me now. Overextends himself. And it looks like we're pretty even. Let's check that units lost tab. I'm still in the lead by about 500 minerals. But it is such a low econ game. And he now has the drone lead on me. And I am just going to continue to pump out zerglings for now. I'm going to get up enough gas. And I need to start going to different tech. And we'll see how this goes. Because I feel like I've got a huge economic lead on him. But I don't realize that he's caught up on drones significantly. And we got a couple messages. We're going to put this on busy for now. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to try and take down this hatchery. I'm going to drop some banelings just to counter any sort of zerglings that are going to run by. But he's got his own banelings up there just to try and deal with these zerglings that I'll have coming up into his base. Let's see how everything goes. Trying to get some good baneling detonations here. Trying to get my zerglings away. Get those banelings in a good position. We traded baneling for baneling, which is not exactly ideal, but it's better than nothing. And I got a few zerglings pecking away over there, but they're going to get right out of there. They're not doing anything to that hatchery, at least not significant. This is easily one of the longer ZVZ games that I've had, just because they're usually done in about 10 minutes for me. But this, China Titan was doing really well holding everything off, and he's got a huge macro advantage at the moment. And so I'm hopefully going to catch up in the near future, because right now it's just not looking good for me. He's got an advantage. He's got that second base. I'm losing a bunch of zerglings to bad engagements. He's got some static defenses going that'll help him DPS these zerglings down. And he has a macro lead, especially with those drones. His drone count is definitely higher, and he's just pulling ahead every second. And we can see over here that he's just trying to drone back up. I did take out a decent amount. Let's check that out. Workers killed. It's 17-0. So I have taken out a decent chunk of drones. And there's my Spire going down. Ooh. Spire right there. Got that going in. He still doesn't have his queens back. Those have just been taken out. And I catch these zerglings with that Overlord. Just seeing that they're over there. And I'm going to take a slightly risky engagement. Engaging anywhere near banelings is always a risk. You'd never know if you're going to do well or not. Especially because those banelings, if you're not timing that perfectly, once those banelings detonate, you're just in a world of hurt. And now he's going to come in here and finally get some drone kills of his own. I need to avoid these banelings at all costs. And look at all those drones just melting to the banelings. And I got to watch out. And I got a couple zerglings split right over there. Perfectly to take out that baneling. Keeping my queen safe. I've got my Spire going. That is almost done. I don't have quite the gas economy that I need to get everything that I want. I morphed a bunch of banelings, which is cut into my gas. And I'm going to take out this Overlord, try and get his supply cap down just a little bit. Because the fewer zerglings that I have to deal with, the better. He's got this nice little path going. Zergling's getting a little stuck on that outcrop right there. That's a little interesting. As smart and as intelligent as the pathing is in this game, every once in a while it can still be a little bit dumb. And he doesn't want to engage this. He's going to send them up one by one just to scout out how many banelings I really have. I waste one baneling there. That's just me not paying attention. I was paying attention elsewhere. I'm going to show this Muta, hopefully get the early GG, because I know that I've got the tech ahead of him. I can tell, because he didn't have this. He's just now started this. When I ran up into his base, I didn't see the lair. And I'm getting his lings to retreat because he knows that I can just pick these off. And again, with this Mutalisk, I just want to show that I've got a threat, which does allow him to get some Spore Crawlers in, but that's alright. I just want to be as menacing, as threatening as possible. I'm going to get my Zerglings down here, get all of my ground army. That way I can hit all at once. I'm missing a few injects over here, but I'll get there. I'm at about a platinum level, but I do have that little bit of ladder anxiety. This was one of my first games of the day. I have supply blocked my opponent, but not for long. And now I see the Spore Crawler. I'm a little disappointed that Mutalisk will start regenerating health really quickly. And then I've got all these Zerglings and Banelings in here. I'm going to try and magnet everything up, get all the way in there, and then just start doing all sorts of terrible, terrible damage to his main base. My Banelings are going to come in. My Mutalisks are going to come in. Get a couple Baneling detonations. Lose a few Mutalisks for silly engagements, and that's the end of the game right there. Again, this is DKG Avos, and I represent Dunning-Kruger Gaming Esports out of Australia. I am one of the few Americans on the team, but I hope you enjoyed. This was my first ladder anxiety, and hopefully I can get over this a little bit so I can move up within the ranks. All right, everybody.